left. That's a pass for Quez Hall, who was the motion man, and that's good for a first down at the 45-yard line.
And Hall does a great job of making number 23, the defender, Jalen Smith, miss at the point of attack, and almost broke that for a big play, Dan.
They did.
So nice pitch and catch from Ponder to Hall there.
And what was that timeout? I didn't see him. Surely.
It's the end of the first quarter.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Quarter has ended. That's why they stopped play. Quarter has ended with the Steers up, shockingly, 14-7. Not shocked. I shouldn't say shockingly, because they're playing outstanding.
They're playing
football.
great football. They're playing great football, and it's a little tough, I think, as a coaching staff for Wayland. Like, one of the things that's got to be really frustrating is how, I don't think the plan was this from Texas College. They just have had kind of a disaster of a year, but it's impossible to game. How are you supposed to game plan for this team?
Yeah.
You don't have any idea who's going to line up at any of the positions because nothing that you're seeing on tape, none of these guys are playing where they started the season at.
No.
So it really is tough to game plan when you're in this kind of situation. And so far, Texas College, you just really punched this Wayland defense, especially in the mouth.
Yeah.
And so there's going to need to be some response here, and also this Wayland offense has just got to get on track. And it's not penalties or anything, turnovers really, except for the one fumble, just not executed.
Willie Phillips up the middle again for about 4 yards, 3 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd and 7 from the 48-yard line of the Pioneers.
Yeah, that's the first time that Phillips has touched the ball where he had a little bit of room. There was a little bit of a crease there. So maybe the Pioneers are starting to figure out some things that this Texas College front is doing, and they're figuring out where they're supposed to be on their blocks.
Two receivers on each side of the line, Ponder and Phillips in the backfield. And now this is the throw out to the left flat, complete out there.
It looks like bring up third down in about 2 yards, maybe a little more than about 3 yards.
Long two. Dylan Jordan, the receiver there. So on 3rd and 2, play is a little late coming in from the sideline here. And 15 seconds on the clock, so they should have plenty of time to get this play off. 8, 7, 6. Play is off. Ponder goes back to pass. He got a man wide open.
Nice.
And slips the tackle. That's Josiah Barron. Yard line.
And Josiah Barron ran an absolutely phenomenal route.
He did.
He got the defender's hips to turn inside, and as soon as his hips turned, he ran a little out-breaking route, and he was all by himself. And if that ball is delivered a little bit quicker and maybe not as much air into the ball, it could have been a touchdown. So great play by the Wayland offense.
And another timeout called. The official pointed to himself. So I'm not sure, looking at the scoreboard.
It could be, maybe it's an injury timeout. There is a Texas College player down.
College player down on all fours. That's what that was.
Yeah, he's down on all fours. And look, maybe he got the wind knocked out of him. That's what it looks like. It looks like he's just trying to catch his breath. It's number 23.
Jalen Smith.
Yeah, he's fine. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him a little and just needed to get that back.
He'll have to come off for at least one play. He's holding his left side.
Yeah.
So the Pioneers set up 1st and 10 from the 11, so they can get a first down without scoring. And the official spins his right arm, and the clock is moving again. 13-13 left in the half. Ponder, 2 in the backfield with him. DJ Ford and Willie Phillips are in the backfield.
They've been running a sweep in pregame warm-ups off of this formation.
And DJ gets the ball. He's going to get to the line of scrimmage, maybe a 2-yard gain.
That's what they were trying to run. They were trying to run that sweep that they were doing in pregame, but Texas College did a great job of penetration on the outside that made him have to cut the ball up field earlier than he wanted to. It's designed, that play's designed to go off. He had to cut it up inside, and there just was no room there.
So 2nd and 8 for the Pioneers on the 9-yard line. Ethan Brown goes out wide left. Josiah Barron is out wide right. Quez Hall in the slot. Pressure on Ponder. He rolls out. Now throws to the end zone. Wow. There were as many white jerseys there as blue ones in that corner of the end zone.
Well, and Ponder, and I guess it may have been because he was pressured and had to roll out, but he had Quez Hall. Quez Hall broke to the inside and then cut back to the outside, and that's who that play was designed to go to. But Ponder doesn't deliver the ball whenever he breaks. He holds on to it. So then you've got, everybody stacked up over here in the corner of the end zone. So, and probably he shouldn't have thrown it. Probably should have just pulled the ball down and tried to get what you can get on the yard.
He might have been able to gain some yardage.
Yeah.
3rd and 8. This is a little quick pass screen and gets stacked up. It's going to gain about 3 yards. Josiah Barron is the receiver, but the Steers rallied to that ball quickly.
Well, and it's so frustrating because, WAYLAND had several blockers out there, but I don't think any of them actually made a block. But the play design was really great. He ran the ball back into where the blockers were, but nobody got their man.
It was a 1-yard gain, so Leo, this is the way Coach says it, Leo Marini comes on to kick a 26-yard field goal, and it's good by plenty. So the Pioneers are down now by 4, 14-10.
That's just good. It's good to get on the board. I mean, you feel frustrated because you get that big play and get down to the 10-yard line and then have the drive stalled there. And really, they had their opportunities in the end zone, Dan. They really did. And if you're a WAYLAND fan, they've already. Well, there was a, and then a big play down here inside the 10-yard line, can't get into the end zone. So the good news is WAYLAND is moving the ball a little better than they were, early on in the game. But the bad news is that just some little mistakes, just some missed blocks, some lack of execution has kept you from getting the points that you really needed to get. So anyway, there's things, positives and negatives here.
Yeah.
So
11:02 left in the first half. Pioneer down 14-10. And Marini tees the ball up.
And Texas College is looking for a short kickoff here.
Short. Their deepest receiver is at the 18-yard line. So they're not looking for anything into the end zone. Marini advances on the ball, kicks it high to the right, taken at the 16 down there by Texas College. And is that 21?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 21.
Oh, 81. It was 81. Yeah.
So 81 on the return is Aaron McClure, a wide receiver from Tyler. And so Texas College will set up 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line.
And so 11 minutes left in the game. What really needs to, when the Pioneers have been successful on defense is because they've been able to get pressure on Hookfin. The problem is that you can't just get pressure on. And so when you're rushing upfield, you have to keep him inside. But when WAYLAND's been able to do that, they've been successful.
Man in motion, swing pass out to the motion man is complete. That was number 5, Chris Winters. We haven't called Chris's.
Tackle, but number 27, Ty Russell, almost got a hand on that pass and almost was able to knock it down.
Again, for Texas College. Hookfin ready to take the snap now. He does. He's going to roll out to his left, still rolling. The defense can't catch him, and he turns that into, he got back to the line of scrimmage is what they're going to do. Up to they're going to mark him out at the 33-yard line.
And I'm going to tell you, we just called Ty Russell's name, almost getting a hand on that pass. But in this situation, he rushes upfield, but he loses contain. Against this guy, you cannot do that. His angle was a little too shallow inside. And so when Hookfin rolls to the right, that's what he wants to do. He'd rather do that than throw the ball sometimes. So you've got to keep that outside shoulder free. You've got to make him break up inside.
3rd and 3 for the Steers. And Chris Winters again in the backfield with Hookfin. Snap comes back. Winters is open. Goes over the middle instead. And a pass caught for a first down at the 40-yard line. That is number 86 on that reception. Isaiah Brooks, no? Tyree Lindsey.
And he just hooked up right on the hash mark. Catch, and a great job by Hookfin of reading the defense and knowing where that open area was. And then once again, Dan, he delivered a strike on that ball. He hit him right in the chest, and so that the receiver could catch that ball and while he was receiving contact and still come down with it. So great quarterback play for Texas College today.
Hookfin takes the snap, wanted to go out to the right flat, changed his mind. He pushed out of bounds for about 5-yard loss on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 50 action.
And once again, Tank, who's the cornerback there, as Hookfin was rolling out, he fights across the face of the corner, was inside, and almost gives
on your rushes. And about 13 for the Steers. Snap comes back. Hookfin rolls to the left, completes a pass to Derek Cooper again.
And a really nice tackle.
That was
really nice tackle by Terry York there. Just comes up and takes Winter's legs right out from under him. And it's a really great open field tackle to keep it in 3rd and long here for the Pioneers.
3rd and 9, as a matter of fact. And right here. Snap comes back, pressure, and Hookfin goes right.
Ball carries number 0, Carol Hookfin.
Offensive holding.
I think it's going to be offensive holding on one of the wide receivers. So that what happened there, number 7 for WAYLAND comes in unblocked, Terrence Clark.
Holding number 6.
Offense, yeah. The wide receiver down the field holding on number 6. But Terrence Clark comes up unblocked, and then Hookfin does just a great job of just stepping up into the gap.
Yeah.
He absolutely breaks Isaiah Brooks, number 30, Isaiah Brooks for WAYLAND, breaks his ankles, and then runs right by him for a first down.
So it still results in a first down for the Steers.
I can't wait to see the 3rd down conversion percentage
Yeah.
for Texas College. And here's the thing. I bet they've averaged 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
And I only remember one that they haven't converted, one 3rd down that they haven't converted.
Right. Snap comes back. Hookfin trapped in the backfield, steps up, delivers a pass. Defender fell down, and number 8 is racing toward and entering the end zone. Alante Brewer took that little pass up the middle as Hookfin escaped the pressure and turned it into a touchdown.
And once again, they were picking on that. They're picking on number 30, Isaiah Brooks, who missed the tackle on Hookfin on the play before, but they were picking on him. Up with him, and he just lost him. Just and runs up the field for a big gain.
And so, once again, Texas College is going for 2, which is evidently going to be the theme Number 8, Alante Brewer, goes in motion, stepping back, now passing to the end zone, picked off in the end zone, and so that 2-point conversion.
Number 20, Harper Terry, on the interception in the end zone, and that what happened that time was that Wayland did a great job. They were trying to run a wide receiver to the right, and Wayland did a great job of defending it, and so then Hookfin, because you can't just rush him, right? You've got to kind of rush and keep him contained. So he has a lot. And actually, if he'd have thrown that ball a little deeper, probably had him in the back of the end zone. But good job by Wayland. But what we're seeing is the athleticism. Wayland. So he.
20 points with 7:07 left in the first half. Their kicker, he's on the roster as a quarterback. It's going to come down at about the 30-yard line. It bounces in, so instead of going out of bounds, it bounced back in toward the field of play, and was that Quez Hall that fielded it over there. And so the Pioneers will have 1st and 10, and they'll set up at their own 30-yard line with 7:07 left. It's odd that no time ran off. Fielded inbounds and he immediately went out of bounds, but no time ran off. That's those guys are fast.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
So DJ Ford in the backfield, Ponder throwing deep. He's got a man open. He runs under it and catches the ball. That's Josiah Barron. What a game he's having.
Well, and really, Texas College does not really have anybody that can run with them, and that's what we've seen so far. And so that was a really nice route, but what he did was just outrun everybody, and Ponder just delivered. I mean, perfectly timed. Fingertips. I mean, really nice play by him. And now, man, let's get some points out of this. You know, we got to now shore up that execution and get this ball in the end zone.
1st and 10 from the 22-yard line of the Steelers. Ponder alone in the back. Trips right. Wins left. He steps up in the pocket, throws to the end zone. And is that Josiah Barron again?
Josiah Barron.
He just snatched that ball away from the defender. He high-pointed it and came down with it.
And the ball was a little bit, it needed to be delivered maybe a little bit more toward the center of the field. It was kind of a little bit behind him, so he had to stop and kind of go back to get it, and that allowed the defender to get in the play. But Barron just does a great job of going and getting that ball. So really nice, 2 really nice plays by Barron to put his team on the board.
So the Pioneers, a very quick drive, less than 30 seconds, and they score. Extra point, snap is back, hold is good, kick is good. So it's a 3-point game again, 20-17 in favor of the Steelers over the Pioneers.
And let's remember this is a team that's averaged like 17 points
on
the season, and they already have 20. But I was going to say too, Dan, because we 17, something like that. So, but remember the first game of this year was 9-6. In some closer games. So Wayland's going to have to figure out what to do with Mr. Hookfin if they're going to have any chance of winning this game.
No doubt. And the Steelers are playing up again like they're expecting a short kick. I'm not sure why we're doing that. I mean, with them expecting a short kick, it seems like we would want to kick it
I think sometimes
down
if
to the
if there's a
5-yard line.
player that you're scared of on a return,
Yeah.
this is what you do because you kick it high
Yeah,
and give your
absolutely.
coverage team time to get
And
down
it
there.
is high, caught at the 11-yard line by number 81. He takes it
Oh.
around the right, his right, and is tackled at the 19.
And that's a great play by Caden Bays to come down and make the tackle on special teams. That was just a really, really great individual effort by Bays to pull him down short of the 20-yard line.
Aaron McClure was the kick receiver on that play. So the Steers will put the ball into play, 1st and 10 from their 19.
You know, typically in a situation like this, you would have somebody kind of spy the quarterback. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know that there's a guy on the Wayland team that can spy him, and I think that's kind of where the issue is. He's just so fast.
Snap comes back, 2 in the backfield, and this one stops for a loss. That was number 7, Tamog Sloan from Shreveport that got caught in the backfield for a big loss.
And he was tackled by
About 5 yards.
number 7, Terrence Clark.
There
And
you
so
go. So it's
Clark
7-on-7 crime.
Clark has spent a lot of time in the Texas College backfield so far in this
He
game,
has.
and so nice to see that effort that he's been putting out kind of end up with a big play there.
So 2nd and 15. Chris Winters is in the backfield with Terrell Hookfin. Snap comes back to Hookfin. Winters is a blocker. He goes out into the pattern. Pass completed for a 1st down. A little slant. And that is number 84. I don't think we've called his name yet today. 84 is Rowry Bailey. Yeah, we called his name one time.
Caden Bays was on the coverage, but that zone, they've been finding room over the middle of the field against zone coverage all day, and so that's something that Wayland's going to have to figure out too.
Another thing I'll be interested in seeing is how many passes are completed to wide receivers.
Right,
A lot of their passes are completed to their running backs.
running backs
Now,
and tight ends.
rolling out to the left and in trouble, he throws it away. So Hookfin was in jail. 3 Pioneers were back there in the backfield, including Andrew Villa and Ty Russell. And also number 30 was back there. Isaiah Brooks was back there.
One thing, too, that we haven't seen from the Texas College offense is you haven't seen Hookfin throw deep on the boundary, right?
So Andrew Villa comes off limping. He's had trouble with that left knee for about 2 years now.
And, boy, they need him out there. He's
Yeah.
just such a great player for the Pioneers.
Snap comes back. Hookfin drops back. He's rushed by 3 players. Pass over the middle is short. Intended for Chris Winters, and he was just getting some intense pressure off of the left side of the Pioneer defensive line.
Yeah, Gabe Tito was in there. Isaiah Brooks was in there. Number 1, Tank White was in there. So really great pressure by Wayland, and because the receiver was open in the
Yes,
middle of
he
the field.
was.
But getting Hookfin off of his spot, he's rolling to his left, and then trying to make that throw. You know, that was a good job by Wayland to defend him well.
Snap back to Hookfin on 3rd and 10. He rolls out again. Sidearms, incomplete down the field.
Well, and Gabe Tito, number 97 for Wayland, is really upset because he was being held so much. Look at his jersey. His jersey is pulled off of his shoulder pad. His jersey got ripped off his shoulder pad. That's how bad the hold was, and there was no call.
4th and 10 from their own 32-yard line are the Steers. So they've got their punter back. Their quarterback, like I said, on the roster is number 15, Tyler Jones. So he's going to punt this one. Pioneers aren't real deep in coverage, are they?
No.
The snap comes back. Not a real good snap. Heavy pressure. Punt is going to land at the Pioneer 42 and bounce forward, and Texas College finally able to down it as it bounces in Wayland's favor across midfield.
Yeah, that's like
That one backed up 10 yards.
maybe a 20-yard punt.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was. It looked like about an 18-yard punt there because it hit and then bounced backwards. So really fortuitous turn of events for the Pioneers. you can see why Texas College wants to go for it a lot.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, they
yeah.
just that their punter is clearly not a punter.
Well,
you
and they've not tried an extra point
Yeah.
kick. Willie Phillips off the left side with good room picks up about 7 yards.
You know, and Phillips's running style, he's not one of those guys who's 0 to 60 in a really short amount of time.
Right.
Like, it takes him a little time to get rolling. And so when he can find a crease and get up the field and kind of get his momentum going a little bit, then he's a really dangerous runner. But if you can impact him in the backfield, or you know what I mean, he's not a quick burst guy.
Yeah, 6'2", 220.
Yeah.
So he's got some power. This is Phillips for a first down, close to a first down.
Kind of had to run over his own player to get there. And it's Jurgen. It was Dylan Jurgen who's slow getting up, but he ran up his back to try to get that first down. And Jurgen comes up limping and heads for the sideline. And Tanner Ballou will come in to replace him.
Tanner Ballou is a big target back there, Brad. He is 6 feet 7 inches tall, 255 pounds.
And he almost threw a touchdown pass earlier in the game.
He
He's on the trick play that they had earlier.
Snap, handoff to Willie Phillips. I don't know. He didn't
I don't
get
think
it.
he got it.
That was 3rd and 1, and Willie Phillips is going to be short of the first down by about half a yard.
Well, and that the spot on 3rd down seems a little questionable to me. It didn't look like there was a full yard to go whenever he went down. So, but 4th and 1, and man, if you're the Pioneers, you go for this. There's 3 minutes
absolutely.
left to go. If you get this first down, you can run out the clock.
4th and less than a half a yard. Actually less than the length of the football for a first down. So the Pioneers are going to go for it from the Steer 38-yard line, and now timeout.
I think that's a WAYLAND timeout because the ref on the WAYLAND sideline was the one running in and calling it.
2:49 left in the first half. WAYLAND down by 3, 20-17. The Steers in the lead, and WAYLAND looking at 4th and about a foot and a half, maybe, for a first down. So this is a crucial first down play, 4th down play that the Pioneers are going to attempt here.
Yeah, you have a chance to tie the game or go or take
Absolutely.
the lead here, and you've got plenty of time. You don't have any timeouts, but you've got plenty of time. You know, almost 3 minutes, 2 minutes 49 seconds here in the first half. You got plenty of time. You can run. You can throw the ball across the middle. You don't have to be too concerned about the time. So you really do need to pick up this first
You
down.
have to execute this play.
You really do. And you know what I hate too is these modern offenses. Like, you can't just line up but under center and run a quarterback sneak here, which would be, but because you run the shotgun, like, I just feel like on these short yardage plays, you really make it a lot more complicated for yourself.
Well, you increase the yards to gain by, now they are going to do a tush push. No, they're not.
Yeah, he's gonna, because this is what you line up in every play. You know, I mean.
Yep. Ponder waiting for the snap. Now they're going to maybe change the play. Snap comes back, hand off to Willie Phillips. He made the first down and more, struggling, fighting all the way up to the 30-yard line. So a nice gain of about 8 yards on that play, and he gives the Pioneers the first down at the Steer 30-yard line.
And a lot of that yardage that he got on that play was after contact. I mean, they really did a good job of impacting him, at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to keep his feet moving and break a couple tackles and get ahead for a significant gain.
Yeah, he could have certainly been brought down at the line of scrimmage. As it is, 1st and 10 from the 30 of the Steers. Sends a man in motion. That's Dylan Jordan. Takes up the slot on the right side. Snap comes back, and it's a pass to Willie Phillips out of the backfield. Phillips gains another 9 yards on that pass run.
But he got out of bounds and stopped the clock, which was good because they let a full 30 seconds run off the clock between the last play and the snap off
and
of
now
that
it's
one.
rolling again, so he didn't get out of bounds.
Wow.
So the clock is still rolling, 1 minute and 50 seconds left. No timeouts for the Pioneers.
Boy, and there's just not a lot of urgency lining up here.
Minute and 40 seconds now in the first half, and still,
So 20 seconds have gone off the clock here.
and more, still counting. Snap hasn't come back yet. It's a minute and 30 seconds when the snap comes back. Ponder chased, throws it out of bounds.
Well, the only reason that there's not a pass interference call right there is that the ref must have thought that was an uncatchable ball.
Yeah.
So, but look, you run two plays, and like a minute and 30 seconds has come off the clock. So that's tough right there. I mean, you're really making it hard on yourself to get a touchdown here. They must be kind of playing for a field goal to tie the game, but I would think you'd be in your 2 minute here. You'd have got several plays called, and you're getting up to the line of scrimmage, and spiking the ball, and
Snap comes back, handoff to Willie Phillips up the middle.
Yeah,
he's going to gain a couple of yards, be brought down, and
definitely playing for a field goal. Now the clock's going to stop at the first down here, but once again, like that's a run to the middle of the field.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now the clock started again.
Yeah, they don't have a play call. He's looking over. You know what I mean? Like in
Looking
the 2 minute, you're getting up on the line, and you've got 4 or 5 plays that you're running, and
yeah, they're very nonchalant about running this next play with a minute left in the game.
And no timeouts.
No timeouts. So they can't stop the clock. This is a pass to the end zone. Got his man beat.
Great
catch.
Great catch.
Maddox Plasek laid out.
And did a great job. There's a lot of physical, like some hand fighting down the field. And he just does a great job of breaking free from his defender and getting open. And that's why you weren't concerned about
the concern. You got 51 seconds
what
left.
they were afraid of was leaving too much time on the clock for Texas College. So you score, and there's only 50 seconds left. So clearly that's what the plan was.
That was a great plan. Yeah. Far be it from us to question.
That's exactly right. and Ponder, that's a nice throw by Ponder.
That was a good
He's
throw.
had several really nice throws so far in this first half.
Snap is back. The kick is up and good. And the Pioneers take a 24-20 lead with 51 seconds in the half.
And I got to tell you, Dan, that, I mean, the way this game started, the way the Texas College was moving the ball, this is really good news for the Pioneers to go in up at halftime. I mean, you faced some adversity. This Texas College team kind of punched you in the mouth a little bit, and you stood back up and you went to war with them. And to go into the half, up by 4, that shows some grit and resilience from this WAYLAND football team.
Yeah.
You know what else? We've seen one turnover for the Pioneers in the first half, and it was just the fumble on the big play, the deep pass. So they've only turned the ball over one time.
Ethan Brown put it on the ground.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's been pretty clean for and penalties.
Not a ton of penalties.
Not a lot of penalties.
Not a ton. So at the start of the game, we talked about that. If you can play clean football, don't turn the ball over, don't commit dumb penalties, you should be able to win this game. Now, I think Texas College has played much better on offense than we anticipated.
Absolutely.
But that's the recipe, man. Play smart football, take care of the ball, and you're going to give yourself a chance to win. In our league, you can give yourself a chance to win every week.
Yeah. So Pioneers on track to score nearly 50 points in this game. We'll see if that happens. Short kick taken at the 7-yard line, and goes to his left, brought down at about the 18.
And once again, great coverage by this WAYLAND kick team. That's the second time that they've made a tackle inside the 20-yard line on a kickoff. And so, I mean, that's the other time that they kicked the ball off, it went out of bounds. Remember? Yeah. So really great job of covering on the, and maybe that's why he's not trying to kick it into the end zone.
No.
We want you to catch it on about the 6-yard line because we think we can tackle you inside the 20, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah. On the 18-yard line, that was Aaron McClure on the kickoff return. Now, inside handoff goes to number 5, Chris Winters, who was in the backfield.
And big old number 97, Gabe Tito, just wrestled him to the ground there. So
2-yard gain. 2nd and 8. Texas College ready to go. Now another handoff up the middle, maybe a half a yard gain on that run.
And they're
so
not going to snap it again.
They're not going to snap. 14 seconds left, and that will.
1 yard gain brings up third.
Yeah, they're not going to snap it again. 7 seconds left. They're even headed toward the dressing room.
Yeah.
So that's the way the first half is going to end. Pioneers up 24-20. A very entertaining game so far between these two teams.
Really well played.
Yeah.
For both teams offensively, really well played football, clean football, some really nice play calls by both offensive coaching staffs. I mean, it really was a well played first half of football.
It was. We're going to get some stats together for you, and we'll be back in about 17 minutes.
Sounds good.
17 minutes to give you the first half wrap up and preview the second half of this ball game. Wayland leading 24-20 over the Steers from Texas College. I'm Dan Ziegler, the voice of WBU. Brad Miles providing the color for us today, and we'll be back in about 17 minutes.
Role change from the Flying Queen as she became a Florida general and specialized in defense. Brother, who graduated from Wayland with a bachelor's degree in English.
I'd gone to school, I'd started college, and just not done particularly well. The thing for me was the time commitment for the courses, like 16-week courses were just really long. And so I heard a lot of folks talking about Wayland and the opportunities there. And the thing was, there were folks that looked like me, and there were folks that were my age, because I was a whole lot older when I started back. Seeing them be successful, it really did push me and drive me to want to get to the finish line.
I hope that all the students that take art are going to be serious about it and use it as a career path for themselves. Not everybody does, but many of my students have gone on to do great careers in the arts, and there's always a lot of work in the arts.
So I actually wanted to go into art education, and then I kind of realized that I could create for a living outside of the classroom, and so I have decided to be an art major and profit off my pieces.
Teaching has always been one of the main things that people do. Museums, galleries, art directors, photographers. There's just museum people, so many things that you can do with art in any profession, really. Design, direction, any kind of print media, anything like that. So many jobs.
Being an art major, I've learned to find perfection and imperfection, and to not stress the fine details when there's a bigger picture in front of you. In my career, I see that I can't sweat the small stuff, but I can look at the big picture and really engage in what's going on around me and pay attention to the fine details, but not stress about them.
It's a culminating experience when they come out. They have all this information and all these abilities to work with different media and in different situations. So it's really a culminating experience. And then they have in my studio, students have a senior show, and the graphic designers, everybody can be in a senior show. And they put together their own exhibit, and that's their first professional art show as an artist. I think everyone should at least have a chance to try some art classes, some art processes. Most people who do truly enjoy them and are surprised at what they can do. So that's a really nice thing about art that I enjoy a lot. Having people come in at the beginning that have never done anything, and then they see what they can do and they get excited about it. So it's good.
Everybody here is so phenomenal that it really engages you in everyday activities, but it also really challenges you in a lot of components.
No matter how much you learn in class, it's completely different when you get into teaching. If my students know that I'm doing everything I can to help them succeed, that they can do what they put their minds to, that they're not defined by a test score, if they can leave my class with an appreciation for mathematics, I will have accomplished my goal. Getting into the classroom, figuring all this out was essential. I could do that because I went to Wayland.
graphic design is art that you get paid for, and you do it on the computer and you do sketching, and it's basically an art problem solving.
I'm really interested in the Adobe products. When I first saw this class, it was mainly focused on Photoshop and Illustrator, and that's kind of something I wanted to kind of dive into. It would be really beneficial for me to know these products and be able to make my own sort of content for whatever company I work for or whatever I decide to do in my future.
Okay, so
I wanted to try something that has to do with drawing and creativity, so I decided to do graphic design. The most thing that I've liked is actually Photoshop, Illustrator, and just creating.
In my classes, I like the students to do things like sketching, and they work. Then they work on computers thinking about concepts and principles, and again, learn the programs. But one of the main things that encompasses graphic design, I think, is problem solving, and again, working with whatever ideas and logos you're given and creating a kind of a scheme for the design. For graphic design, there is a lot of opportunities. The first thing you'll need, and we work on building, is a portfolio. And some of the opportunities that are out there with a portfolio are, for example, social media and social media content design. It's a very popular field right now, and lots of jobs in that field. And then also just in regular graphic kind of design jobs, whether print or digital, but again, creating logos for businesses, creating signage, creating advertising, and again, most of this is done on the computers, but lots of opportunities out there.
I hope that I would be able to just work in my office and create logos, hopefully, and just work. I know, like, if you work with graphic design, you can actually work from home as well, so I think that would be really good.
There's a lot of different avenues I could go down. So I've done things such as live production with like a radio station. I've done like live production as far as with a camera. I've also done like planned production with like short films and stuff for this year, and then I've also done some sort of creative design like in this class. So I think how all this is going to tie together, it's going to force me to use my brain, be creative, go outside of my comfort zone, and try to make the best possible content for whatever I want to do in the future.
When you're already working 40 hours a week, already working full-time, there's no way I could have attended what is a traditional educational program. The only way I could have accomplished that is through what is a non-traditional class environment. What WAYLAND offers, I can have a degree program that really accommodates not just a non-traditional student in terms of their schedule, but how much life experience they already have and what they've already done. There's no way I could have accomplished it without that program.
When Steinway developed the Spirio, they really thought of it as a very high-end, very high-capable player piano. You know, it's going to reproduce performances. They're going to record classic artists, and you can play them back in your living room. You know, you can have parties around it. It's a great thing for, you know, a university could have it for, you know, big donor fundraiser or something. And what we saw immediately as we sort of examined this technology as it was being formed is this has incredible potential pedagogically. This could be transformative in the way that we deliver content to students and really between teachers and students. When they started developing this concept called SpirioCast, where you could essentially take a video feed and audio and the piano data, send it from one piano to another anywhere in the world, we thought this has instantly just removed all of these barriers of geography, of access, of you know, quality instrument, quality instruction to students anywhere there's a broadband internet connection. And so over the last 4 or 5 years, we have been working with New York regularly to refine that technology to, hey, could you add this feature? Have you thought about this feature? To make it something that is continually evolving to be what I think is really the highest quality, high definition distance teaching technology out there for piano.
We are looking to Plainview to seeing how it's done. Not at Oberlin, not at Yale, not at Juilliard, but at WAYLAND Baptist University. I was in New York last week, and the CEO talked to me and said, "How are things at WAYLAND? Tell me more about what's going on at WAYLAND." WAYLAND has always had pioneer at its at being a pioneer in all areas of excellence. And this is just one area that WAYLAND still is leading the globe with this technology and with people with bright and fresh ideas that are helping other people do the same thing.
We have seen a decrease in piano majors, a 30% decrease of piano majors across the nation. And if we don't do something now, we're not going to have anybody that's going to be at our disposal to play recitals, concerts, even church musicians. So we feel as a team that we are providing a platform for new digital music educators to come into our world and bridge that gap and to provide an opportunity across all curriculum-based spectrum. And I think the sky's the limit.
WAYLAND is famous in the Steinway world now, and we're known in London, we're known in Hamburg, we're known all over the world because we are pioneering this technology, right? This is something that Steinway themselves didn't necessarily even envision. Steinway is also asking us, how does this work? You know, how did this work? Are we rolling out this feature the right way? Is there a different way to do this? Is the interface doing well with the app? I mean, there's a continual conversation going back and forth, and there's a tremendous respect among the Steinway executives, among the engineers, among the sales staff around the country that just sees us as this great center of innovation, really. And this is a huge part of what we're doing just as a program in general. You know, we have all of this new re-emphasis on let's get these students who are technology natives. This is the 21st century student. Most of them were born, all of them now, were born after 2000. They've grown up with tablets and iPads and iPhones and all of these things that they're used to using. So we got to make sure we're incorporating it into our curriculum in every area. And this is just one example of doing it in music. We're doing it in all areas of our school. And I think that that's probably the single most important reason why Steinway has seen us as such a valuable partner over the last several years.
It's time.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
I'm happy with where we're at right now. And we're trying to win at the highest of levels, trying to compete for conference and national championships. So it's a process, a long process, but the returners and the mix of the newcomers that we brought in, man, we love what we have. Our returners, Michael Belfield, Jackson Reeser, Dylan McDougall, and then Bull Tong, who we redshirted last year, have done a great job helping our new guys with our expectations, what we expect every day from practice, to our standards on and off the court. And so it's been a smooth process for that so far. Through the recruiting process, we're open with our guys about, we're trying to go win. We're not talking about how playing time, whether you're, coming from, high major or you're coming from a JUCO. And you're earning everything you get with us, and our goal is to win. And I think if we if we accomplish our team goals, all of our guys' individual goals will take care of themselves. And we added 5 Division I transfers, a couple of JUCO guys, and then a couple of Division II transfers as well. I think defense wins championships. You hear that over and over again. Throughout the recruiting process, you don't really go recruit defenders. You go recruit, talented guys that can really score the ball. And so for us, we try to give them some freedom offensively. And everything we do, if you look at our practice plan, it's 70 to 80% defense every single day. Everything we do in practice is competitive. Every drill, there's a winner, there's a loser, there's consequences. And so that's one thing that I think that helps us is, everything we do in practice is just super, super competitive. Our guys are going at each other. And then, then there's some drills that we put in that is not really game related, but it's just toughness drills of, hey, there's no fouls. We got to go score in the paint. We got to go get rebounds in the paint. It's a war out there. Let's go do it.
Okay, we're working on stagger. Ready guard stagger, okay?
A lot of where I'm at today to my dad. From whenever I could walk, I was a water boy on the bench, sitting on the bench, admiring him and his teams, and a lot of things that we do, I learned from him. I've been very blessed to be under him, to be under a lot of great coaches of Coach Beard, Coach Boone, Coach Wright, and man, so I'm very blessed. I've never really wanted to do anything else. Him and my mom warned me and was like, hey, don't coach, but I don't think I'd be very good at anything else. And this is kind of what I was born to do. Just seeing him impact not only on the court, but impact so many lives off the court. And he has so many people that have success stories that talk about they wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for my dad. And so I want to be a part of something like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bulldog Memorial Stadium here in Plainview, Texas, the home of the WAYLAND Pioneer football team. And WAYLAND finds themselves ahead 24-20 after a very active first half on offense for both of these teams.
It really was. It was a very well played by both offenses. WAYLAND probably would like to have some of their possessions inside the red zone back. There was some poor execution a couple of times inside the red zone, but for the most part, both of these offenses were playing really good football, and the numbers bear it out.
They do. 4 total penalties for both teams. I can remember a lot of times when WAYLAND would have 6 in the first half. So
yeah, and I mean 258 yards in the first half for WAYLAND, 323 total yards in the first half for Texas College. And here's the big stat too: 42 plays. Texas College ran 42 plays in the first half to WAYLAND's 20. We talked about that up-tempo offense where they were trying to get on the ball and get it snapped, with still like 20 seconds, 15 seconds left on the play clock. And WAYLAND's had a really tough time defending that and getting in position and communicating. And so that's been very successful so far for Texas College.
Yeah, it has. They've done an excellent job on offense, and can't take anything away from them.
The target for an up-tempo offense, your target is usually 90 plays in a game. That's what you want to. If you do that, that means you've been successful. So 42 in the first half by Texas College, you can tell that's what they're trying to do.
It's on track. Hookfin is 14 of 20 for 254 yards passing.
And 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Brian Ponder is 9 of 12. Very accurate
Yeah.
That's 66% any way you slice it for 223 yards.
Yeah, he's been very efficient with the football.
Yeah.
Actually, he's 152. 71 of those yards, remember, were Tanner Ballou.
Oh, that's right.
Who was 1 for 1, by the way. He's got a perfect completion percentage.
Yeah, he does.
Hookfin also, though, Dan, we need to talk about this, is 9 rushes for 56 yards.
Yeah, by the quarterback.
And so he's the only runner. Everybody else have one running back who we were misidentifying in the first half. Is Malik McLean is number 8 instead of Brewer, Alante Brewer. So, but Malik McLean had 9 rushes for 17 yards. That's the closest one to Hookfin, who had 56 yards rushing. So, of the 323 yards, 312 of those yards were generated by Hookfin.
Yeah.
And so that tells you what kind of a player he is and how much they're going to. And if you're Wayland in the second half, you have to answer that riddle. You've got to figure out how do we keep him inside the pocket? How do we keep him from rolling out and making plays with his legs? And so that's going to be the big question for this Wayland defense in the second half.
Yeah. Leading tackler for the Pioneers was Terrence Clark. Caden Bays has 4 tackles. Donovan Henry has 5 tackles. Isaiah Brooks has 4. Oh, there's somebody else with 5. Tito has 5. Another pooch kick by Texas College, run out of bounds at about the 44-yard line of the Pioneers. So that pooch kick not nearly as effective as the ones they've had in the past. That one taken on the 40 and run out of bounds at the 40. It looks like put it on the 43-yard line.
And it was DeCary Hollings out of Paladura High School in Amarillo, Texas, who caught that pooch kick on the run.
Yeah.
And was able to gain a few yards after catching it. So nice play by him.
So from the 42-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers as we begin this second half. Handoff, fake handoff, throw out to the receiver out on the left flat, gains about 3 yards.
That's Josiah Barron, who had a huge first half. Dan, Josiah Barron, 4 receptions, 109 yards, and a touchdown in the first half. And he starts off the second half with a completion out to the boundary.
So that actually gained about 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5 for the Pioneers. Once again, no rush at all by the Pioneer offense. So they're content to play this one very what's the word I'm looking for?
Just the ball control. They're not trying to run a bunch of plays. They're just trying to make sure they get set and get the right play run.
Snap comes back. Ponder passes. Short pass over the middle, breaks it to the outside, and that's number 9, Quez Hall.
Great route. He just runs a little drag route across, shallow kind of drag route across the field, and Ponder rolling to his right is able to find him and deliver the ball, lead him enough to where he can catch it in stride and make some room with his legs, and it's just a really nice play for a first down. And Wayland's on the move here to start the third quarter.
On the 42-yard line of the Steers after that play. Handoff to T.J. Ford. He finds some room off left tackle for about 5 yards.
That was a really nice run by Ford, and I like the change of pace between
Willie
Phillips and Ford. I mean, Ford's got a little bit more of a pop.
Yeah,
he's a little bit. He goes 0 to 60 a little quicker. He hits that hole with a little more urgency, and so that he was able to squeeze through that hole before Texas College shut it down.
So 2nd and 5 for the Pioneers on the 37-yard line of the Steers. Ponder in the backfield with Willie Phillips, but no, DJ. And this is an incomplete pass. He was going to try to throw to number 8, Dayton Varela. Is what I've got.
And just kind of threw it at his feet. I don't know if he just missed the throw or if there was some miscommunication, but whatever the case was, the route that Varela ran was deeper than where Ponder was trying to throw that football.
Brings up a 3rd and 5. DJ Ford still in the backfield. So they went the entire first half with Willie Phillips. Wonder how long they're going to stay with Ford. That's just over Ponder's head, and he's going to turn this into something. And no flag as he threw it into the end zone. That's a pretty good arm, Brad.
Yeah.
He threw that from about the 45-yard line in
on
the
the
air.
Run. Yeah,
on the run, in the air, about 3 yards deep in the end zone. The pass, they didn't make connection down there, but a good job by Ponder just to not get sacked.
The whole thing.
For
I mean,
a loss.
the snap went over his head. He's able to catch it and then roll out to his right. And he took a shot downfield. It just, he probably wasn't able to get as much on that as he needed to complete it because he was running for his life. But I'd prefer to see him maybe hit one of those underneath routes. But kudos to him for taking a shot when you've got one.
So this is interesting. Now, Pioneers call a timeout. My word.
Wow.
So less than 8 minutes have gone, just over 7 minutes in the third quarter. Pioneers faced with a 4th and 5 from the Steer 37, and they've got to stop and talk about it.
That's their first possession of the second half. So I'm not really sure what the issue was there, but you sure don't want to be calling a timeout there. This is not the time of the game to be calling a timeout. Some kind of communication issues. The same kind of deal in the first half. There were a couple of timeouts that were really early, really early in the half, and I know you want to get your guys lined up and you want to get everything, but you would hope that you wouldn't have those kind of communication issues.
That's right. So now, Marini is going to try a 54-yard field goal, Brad.
And now we see that's why they called the timeout, because they were deciding whether or not they were going to try to kick this field goal. This is a long field goal. He's got the leg for it, though, Dan. I'll tell you that. The wind at his back a little.
Played soccer here at Wayland for 3 years. Was a standout soccer player. This one is up. It's got the distance, Brad. And it's through. He made that 54-yarder.
He sure did, and it bounced off of the left upright and bounced through. And so, but there was plenty of leg on that, and it cleared the crossbar with by 3 yards. I mean, it was a really plenty of foot on that kick.
Great kick. What a kick for Leo Marini.
And that puts him up by 7. So now you're a touchdown up. So, and I mean, 4th and 5 from there, there was not a whole lot of chance you were going to convert that. So that's good to get some points on that.
That's an outstanding kick. That 54 yards, that's good. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, and how about Coach Hinojosa, having that kind of faith in his kicker? I mean, you know what I mean? That's pretty awesome to be able to run your guy out there for that,
Yeah, absolutely. Just a reminder, the final home game of the season will be next week, November 11th against Langston. They are currently the number 4 team in the conference. We'll see what today's action holds for Langston. Coach Hinojosa, when I talked to him earlier in the week, he was pretty confident in getting victories this week and next week and running the Pioneer season record to 4-6, which would the conference record to 4-6, which would certainly be respectable considering where we started from.
Well, and I mean, this is his first year as the head coach, and so that you do want to put some wins under your belt.
This kick goes down to the 4-yard line, so Marini decides to kick this one, taken down there by number 86. Is that right? Did you see that number 86?
I don't know who was returning it, but number 3, Caleb Jennings, a defensive back out of Lockhart, just made a fantastic open field tackle, special teams tackle. I mean, just completely decleated the returner and really great tackle.
So I'm guessing that it was Tyree Lindsay on the return. And a decent job on the return. Took it at the 4, brought it out to the 21. Inside hand, no, fake inside hand. Oh boy, just missed an interception. That was right through the hands of Isaiah Brooks, who had jumped that route.
Yeah, he clearly clearly knew where that ball was going because he almost, that was almost 6 points the other direction.
Sure was.
So just a little slant, just a little, a little short, little slant route or, and he just got in between it. He just saw what was happening.
2nd and 10. Hookfin takes the snap, drops back, rolls to his left, throws it now. Number 82 caught this one for a first down. And 82 is, I'm showing Brandon Kanyiki as 82.
And he had a couple catches in the first half. A person wearing number 82 had a catch or two in the first half. So
yeah, it evidently isn't Brandon Kanyiki because he's not on the stat sheet as a receiver. So we're just giving you the information we've got. Snap back as the Steers have a first down on their 48-yard line. Rolling right, throwing and catching down at the 31-yard line and going out of bounds. That was number 3. Am I seeing that right?
Yes, sir.
Anthony Holden.
And what's happening here is they're running the scramble drill really well. Once Hookfin kind of breaks the pocket and buys a little more time, these receivers are just kind of settling into open places in the zone. And that was just a great throw and but a great job of staying active and getting into the open part of the zone for the receiver.
Hookfin back pressure again from the WAYLAND defense. He's scrambling to his left, and he's going to turn this into a touchdown. So he scrambled out to his left, avoided tacklers all the way from the 32-yard line all the way to the end zone.
And you just, we talked about this in the first half, Dan, but you cannot lose outside contain. You cannot lose outside contain on him. He's just too fast. And you saw, number 7 for WAYLAND, Terrence Clark, was playing linebacker trying to get out there, but he's just not near fast enough to run Hookfin down. And if you lose outside contain on him in the pocket, he's going to make you pay, and that's what happened right there.
2-point conversion attempt. Hookfin steps back, throws the ball, and it was partially deflected, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it looked like the receiver expected that ball to be delivered in a different location.
Yeah.
It looked like it was delivered a little farther upfield than they wanted, and there was a WAYLAND defender who was there able to kind of get a hand on that one. But what's happening here, Dan, is that we talked. Remember, I mentioned this earlier. The first time, it looked like there was some sandlot football, like some playground football, where he's just kind of running around out there, and motioning into people and making throws. And that's what that whole drive was. Both of the completions, those long completions were ones where he got outside of the pocket. He's not delivering the ball on time. He's delivering that it's scramble drill. Everybody's kind of moving around, following him. And it really, I'm telling you, this offense is Hookfin. You've got to be able to contain him because he's just that kind of a next level kind of athlete.
So it's 27-26 in favor of the Pioneers with 11:15 to go in the third quarter of this game. A 1-point game.
As a play caller, it's kind of nice if you're Texas College because it doesn't really matter what play you call.
You're not going to run that play anyway.
Yeah, even if it all falls apart. I mean, he's still out there running around making some plays.
He's kind of a Brett Favre kind of quarterback.
Yeah.
Down to the 20 taken by the Pioneers. Advance it up to the 31 maybe. And I think that was number 9, Quez Hall, who returned that kick. Another short kick by Texas College. And the Pioneers set up on the 32-yard line, their own 32, with 1st and 10, their first possession of the second half.
You got single coverage out here on Josiah Brown to our side.
Handoff in the middle off of right guard. That was DJ Ford, I think. Nope, that was Willie Phillips.
Yeah, he just kind of powers his way for about 3 yards off the right guard.
Yeah. So it looks like 2nd and 8, a short 8 maybe. 7. Ponder back with Phillips in the backfield with him. Steps back, gives this one to Phillips. That was an RPO. Phillips turned it into a 1-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Pioneers.
I kind of felt like Ponder turned around and handed that ball off really late because he opened up his hips to his right side, but Phillips was running to his left, and so he turned all the way around to hand him the ball. And he may have opened up on the wrong side, Dan. He really because he got that ball to him really late, and I think that messed the timing of that play up.
Yeah, you're not going to read the defensive left end.
Right, on a play going to
your left.
Yeah.
Now, Ponder scrambles for a first down. That's great, right up the hash marks. They lost contain there, speaking of losing containment, and they advanced this one to the Pioneer 44-yard line for first down.
And Ponder can do that. He's a really good little athlete, and so he was able, that time to find a seam kind of up the middle of the field and use his legs to go get that first down. So that's a big first down conversion on a 3rd and long for this team.
So Ponder has Willie Phillips and Dylan Jordan in the backfield with it. Gives it to Phillips. He's stacked up behind the line. Great defense there by the entire Texas College team, it looks like, was back there.
Well, it looked like they kind of knew where that ball was going.
Yeah.
I mean, there was penetration on that side of the line, and the whole defense was kind of just standing there waiting for Phillips whenever he got the ball.
2nd and 14 for the Pioneers. Back on their own 40-yard line now. Actually 40 and a half.
It kind of reminds me of I watched that show Quarterback on Netflix, and so there's this scene where Patrick Mahomes is sitting on the sideline and he's talking to Travis Kelce. He's like, they don't know I watch tape,
Yeah. Snap comes back to Ponder. He's going to get some pressure as he rolls to his left, throws the ball away.
And the person who made that play for Texas College was number 28, because what they were trying to do was run a drag route across the field and complete it to number 4, Tavares Gaines. But number 28, Kendrick Lee is the name we've got.
Yeah.
He did a great job of covering that route coming across the field, and Ponder didn't have anywhere to go with the football, so we just had to throw it away.
Defensive back from Fort Worth. And it brings up a 3rd and 14 for the Pioneers. So they would certainly like to advance this ball down the field. If they don't get a first down, just advance it down the field to where they can maybe corner kick this one. Ponder's back. No pressure. Throws it low and incomplete. Dylan Jordan, the intended receiver, and it brings up 4th and 14.
That throw was just a little bit off target. It was a little bit wide, but Jurgen was open, and he had him there, and it would have been close to first down yardage. Maybe it had been short by like a yard or so, but just not quite as accurate a ball as needed to be delivered in order to make that completion happen.
Snap comes back for the punt. He gets it off. Gets knocked to the ground, and this one goes
I think that
out of bounds on the 1.
I
They're
think
going
it
to spot
did.
this between the goal line and the 1.
They're on the 1-inch line.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it. They're trying to talk about it. But it looked like it went outside. No, they call it touchback.
Wow.
Because it looked like it went right over the pylon over there.
Did.
You know what I mean? So that was a pretty impressive punt. That's about as close as you can get right there.
Braden Welch steps up again and shows why he's one of the best punters in the conference. 1st and 10 from the 20 are the Steers. 7:58 left in the 3rd quarter. Steers are down 1, 27-26. Hookfin sends a man in motion across the formation, hands it off inside to number 7, and he got loose out to the 40-yard line. That's I'm showing that to be Tamog Sloan. And as I look at the first half stats, Yeah, he's on there. Okay. So we may be correct in identifying him. But that was a good carry.
That's very well blocked, too. I mean, no one touched him really until he was in the second level.
20-yard gain there. Hookfin takes the snap, hands it to Sloan. No, keeps it. Oh, he gets loose outside again. Brad, he's going to be pushed out at about the 28-yard line of the Pioneers as they lost containment again.
And a couple of guys, missed tackles there, but the one that I want to point to, though, on that play was Terry York, who he plays cornerback, and he's done this a couple of times. He went inside of his blocker, and I know why he was doing it, because that's where, at the time, that's where Hookfin was. But when he got that receiver on his outside shoulder, Hookfin bounces it to the outside, and he can't get there. You just can't do that.
Snap comes back to Hookfin. He throws it downfield. Man's open down there, and he caught it. That was number 6. That was Derek Cooper for the reception all the way down to the 13-yard line of the Pioneers.
And boy, he hung that ball up there forever, but Coco McCoy, who was playing cornerback on that side, couldn't find the ball. Like he turned around, but he couldn't track the ball, and so it allowed the receiver to make the completion. If he had been able to spot that ball in the air, he might have picked it off. Because it hung up there that long.
Yeah, and there wouldn't have been anything but grass between him and the end zone.
Oh, yeah. It was an opportunity for a big play, but he just couldn't track the football.
So 1st and 10 from looks like the 14, 13-yard line. Hookfin back to pass. Under pressure again. Throws this one away.
And just incomplete. 84, big old number 84, Rory Bailey, who he had a catch in the first half too, but big old tight end for them. He was open, had a little bit of room, but Hookfin, as he's rolling, had a little bit of time, a little bit of trouble delivering an accurate ball out there to him. Once again, the Pioneers have gotten pressure. They have made Hookfin have to move around, but the problem is that doesn't really bother him that much. He's able to move around and still find guys down the field.
Yeah, he's really calm when he breaks the pocket.
He is.
There's no desperation in him.
That's a hold. Oh, my gosh.
And a touchdown pass. And how did they miss
I don't know what you have to do to get holding call. If that's not a hold with 2 referees looking at you, I don't know what you have to do to get a holding call. Because the number 27 for WAYLAND, Ty Russell, I mean, literally, they almost pulled his jersey off of him. And he had a free line to the quarterback. And, I mean, that's as clear a hold as I've ever seen in my life.
So it was a touchdown pass thrown to post of the end zone, not post, but the flag. The corner marker. Snap comes back to Hookfin. Rushed again. He's retreated all the way back to the 30-yard line. Now he gets loose and fumbles the ball and fumbles it out of bounds on the 8-yard line. So that's going to go as an incompletion.
And praise God that he fumbled the ball, because after retreating all the way to the 30-yard line, he had a chance to score a touchdown there, Dan. And if he doesn't fumble that ball and he's running at full speed, all he had to do was make like one guy miss, and he would have gotten in for a 2-point conversion. I'm sorry, that was a 2-point conversion. So that's the most exciting missed 2-point conversion I've ever seen.
So all that being said, the Pioneers are only down 5 points. 32-27.
And they just still haven't been able to find an answer for Hookfin's athleticism at the quarterback position. He just continues to figure out ways to make plays against them, and they've got to first of all play more defense, more disciplined defense, and stay in your lanes. Make him run, make him come inside in the pocket, and that's got to be the key. Because if he bounces outside and he's got all that space out in front of him, there's just nobody on this team right now on the defensive side of the ball that can keep up with him.
He constantly gets to the numbers and outside.
Yes, yeah.
This one, short kick, taken on the 27 and broken up to, and a flag down on the far sideline over there. And that may be against WAYLAND.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have. I feel like it could have gone either way because number 38 for Texas College was tangled up with a Wayland player and threw him down at the end. Victor Jonathan is the name.
They're picking the flag
Picking it up.
Now they picked this flag up. I don't know about that one way over there.
Oh yeah,
on
there's
the
another
sideline.
one. That's probably a hold, I bet.
There's one on the Texas College sideline. The Texas College coach is signaling holding against Wayland.
Oh, blindside block. That's worse.
Correction, 15 yards, first down.
So 15 yards from the 31-yard line will put it on the 16-yard line, and that's where the Pioneers will take first down snap from. That is from where the Pioneers will take their first down snap.
Yeah,
I fixed that grammatical.
That's
error.
right. You can't end a sentence with a preposition,
No.
Dan. We all know this.
We do. And yet,
Yeah.
sometimes.
We do, but that's sometimes what I end my sentences on.
Yeah, that's good. 5:47 left in the third quarter, and the Pioneers break for about a 3-yard gain out the left side. DJ Ford on the carry. So the steer pursuit, actually a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 from the 18-yard line. DJ lines up on Ponder's right side. Motion across the formation to the right side. Puts 3 receivers over here. Snap comes back. DJ takes it, and he fumbled the ball. I don't know if that's going to be ruled a catch.
That looked like an incompletion, Dan.
It
I don't
did.
think he ever had that ball.
They're
talking about it.
They're treating it like a fumble. I just don't think he
I
had
don't think he had it. And it was definitely a forward pass. So
Yeah.
it was just a little like a bubble route
screen
to,
over
to the running back. Yeah, it's an incomplete pass. Little
Incomplete.
bubble screen, and they threw it to him, but he never had possession. He ran into his own guy, ran into his blocker out there, and it caused him to drop the ball, but I don't think he never had possession of it.
So as I said before the play started, the Pioneers had 3 receivers on that right side of the formation, and the pass was thrown to the running back who had floated out there behind those 3 receivers.
And he ran into one of the wide
He
receivers,
ran into one of them.
and that's what caused him to drop the ball. The only way that was a fumble is if it had been a lateral, but it clearly wasn't. He clearly threw it in front of him.
He didn't get 2 steps after he caught it. All of those things were not fulfilled.
Yeah.
3rd and 10, Ponder steps up and gets stripped of
stripped
the
of the
ball.
ball.
And this is picked up by Texas College and returned to the 10-yard. That will be a fumble, and that is number 28 who picked that up, Kendrick Lee.
A couple of issues there. Ponder should have thrown that ball. When he stepped up in the pocket, he had a wide receiver breaking across, and he should have thrown it. But then when he decided not to throw it, tuck the ball away. You can't keep running around out there and with the ball, holding the ball like a loaf of bread. They teach you that in Pee Wee football. That's what happens if you do that. Because he didn't really get hit that hard. He got hit from behind, and he dropped the ball because he was carrying it around with one hand.
So Texas College comes out. They're not sure where they're going to huddle up.
Yeah.
The center wants them to go ahead and come to the line. And he is a large presence.
I would do what he said.
I would do what he said
Yeah.
every time. Snap comes back. Hookfin drops back.
Wide
open. Right down the seam. Number 84. We've called his name a number of times. Rowry Bailey.
And, nobody covered him, Dan.
Nobody.
Nobody covered him. It looked like it might have been number 30, Isaiah Brooks, whose responsibility was the tight end up the field. But they just, it looked like maybe he kind of blocked for a second and then released, but no one watched him up the field. No one followed him.
So he went right up the hash and was wide open, and the Steers take a 38-27 lead pending this 2-point conversion attempt. To Moog Sloan in the backfield. They hand it to him. He's going to get stacked up at the line. That will be a no good two-point conversion attempt, and the score remains 38-27, an 11-point lead now for the Steers with 4:41 left in the third quarter.
So we talked about it in the first half. You know, we talked about how, you know, the turnovers will kill you, you know, and you have to make sure you protect the ball, especially when the game's close like this, you know, and putting the ball on the ground. You know, this Wayland offense is just really not good enough to overcome multiple turnovers. You know, you can't make those mistakes, you know. So I was listening to College Game Day this morning, and they were talking about a quarterback they described the Clemson quarterback as playing hero ball, where you're trying to make a play, you know, whenever maybe there's not a play there, and you know you got, you know, and so when you're pondering, you step up, you miss that first rush, you got to either throw the ball or you've got to tuck it, but you can't run around holding it in one hand like that, or you're going to turn it over, and that's going to give the other team points.
So the kickoff coming from Texas College, and this is a little better kick, fielded on the 25 by the Pioneers, number 22, Red Horace, and he broke at a pretty decent return after fielding on the 25, takes it out to the 44.
Yeah, he had some room in there, but he just never was able to kind of get up to full speed. You know what I mean? So, but really well blocked by the Pioneers, and a nice job by him picking his way to give the Pioneers some good field position.
So the ball spotted on the 44, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers, and they need to get points out of this possession.
They really do.
4.5 minutes left in the third quarter of this one, and this could be a high-scoring football game, Brad.
It's already higher scoring than I expected.
High scoring than probably anyone expected out of these two teams. Two receivers on either side of the formation. Little screen to Willie Phillips. Works for about an 8-yard gain. So he's a 9-yard gain. He's out to the 46-yard line of the Steers.
That was really nice play call. They had zone, you know, coverage, and they were just able to slide him out, you know, into the flat a little bit and get him the ball. So a really nice play call and a nice gain. There's a player down for Texas College. Looks like it's number 28, 23, which on our roster is Jalen Smith, a linebacker from Little Rock, Arkansas, safety linebacker from Little Rock.
He's made a tackle earlier in the game. Let's see. Yes. Ooh, the defensive guys, he gives their numbers. Look at that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
A little bubble screen again. This one to number 8, Drayden Varela from Cuero.
He's brought down by a host of Texas College players, but it was enough for the first down, and so the chains move once again for the Pioneers.
On the Steer 44-yard line are the Pioneers with 1st and 10. Willie Phillips in the backfield off of Ponder's right shoulder, sends a man in motion across the formation, drops back to pass. He's going to throw it downfield. Got a man open, batted away. Had too much air under that one, Brad.
He was way late delivering that ball. I mean, just you know, you have to deliver that ball at the top of the break, and he just waited. He waited like a second or two too long, which is an eternity in football. And you had a receiver who was wide open. When I say wide open, I mean no one within 5 yards of him. That by the time the ball is thrown and it gets there, the defender's able to get over there and knock the ball down.
And make a play. And I think I saw 31. That's possible. Tyler Sharp, a defensive back from Dallas, on that deflection. Ponder steps back, 2nd and 10. Throws it. Willie Phillips takes it short of the line of scrimmage and does not get back to the line. That's a 2-yard loss. Be 3rd and 12. That play didn't look good from the time it was snapped.
No, and I feel like he was trying to go down the field with it. It looked like he was trying to throw it to the outside receiver on this side, and it was covered, so he checked down, and there just was no room over there.
3rd and 12 for the Pioneers on the 46-yard line of the Steers. Man coverage for the Steers, and they're encouraging him to throw the ball, and once again he was a little late throwing it.
Yeah, this offense that the Pioneers run is really timing based, and I think who they were trying to get that ball to that time was Kez Hall, who was running like a little post route kind of on the hash, and that he was open. And then the receiver, at the bottom down here was open as well. And you just got to get the ball out quicker than that, you know.
Maddox Plazek was who it was intended for. And the Pioneers on 4th and 12 are going to punt. Braden Welch certainly has the leg to get this one down inside the 20. Almost kicked it into his own man. This takes a good Wayland bounce. This one's going to go and be down on the 1
yard line.
Inside the 1.
Yeah.
Wow, what great punt coverage. Braden Welch steps up again because he hit that ball at about his own 40, and it was down at the goal line. They're going to spot it at the 1 yard line.
You really have a chance at a safety right here.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
honestly, because Wayland has been getting into the backfield, consistently all game long. You do have it, and he doesn't have as much room to run around in the end zone. One of the things that Hookfin does is he'll retreat, but he's only got 10 yards here, and he's going to be receiving the ball in about in the back half of the end zone, like at the top of that D up there is probably where, the middle of that D on Bulldogs is where he's going to be getting the ball, and he doesn't have a lot of room to run around back there. So you got a shot here at a safety.
Snap comes back. Hookfin back. He throws it down deep on the right sideline. No flag on the play. Incompletion. That one intended for Derek Cooper.
That was a good no call by the ref over there. I mean, there was a little bit of contact, but nothing really. I mean, both players were jockeying, for the ball, and the ball wasn't really catchable either.
So that brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 1, and the Steers find themselves in the same position on their own 1 yard line. Handoff up the middle. This will turn into about a 2 yard gain. It goes out to about the 4. Let's give them 3, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 7 from the 4 yard line.
That tackle was made by Isaiah Brooks that time, and it's a good thing because number 7 Terrence Clark was running a little game with the defensive line. So he left his middle linebacker spot and was rushing, to the outside, and it vacated that spot in the middle. So Brooks does a great job collapsing down and making the play.
Hookfin back in his own end zone, way back in his own end zone, tries to run it out now, and he throws the ball away. That should be a safety, shouldn't it?
No, because he was outside of the tackle box.
The tackle box.
So when you're outside of the tackle box, as long as the ball travels past the line of scrimmage, it's not an intentional grounding.
So it's 4th and 7 now.
But they have to punt from the end zone, and that's a tough place to punt from.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to punt or not, Brad.
Well, you don't want to give them the ball on the 3 yard line.
I know.
Wow.
Well, they've got the punter over there talking to him.
Because if he steps back and steps out of the back of the end zone.
We've seen that before this year.
And look, he had 1 punt in the first half for 20 yards.
And the play clock is down to 7, and he's not even on the field
yet. No, they're going to have to take a timeout. Yeah, they're going to have to take a timeout. Or take a penalty. It doesn't even hurt you. What is it, half the distance to the goal?
Half the distance from the 4. So you're punting from the 2.
Half the distance, 4th down.
Man, I'm not no matter what happens here, the Pioneers can expect some really good field position because, there was 1 punt in the first half for 20 yards.
Well,
and I think that 20 was generous.
I expect to see intense pressure by the Pioneers here.
Oh, yeah. Why not come after it?
Yeah.
If they're going to punt it. But look, they've got the punter who's actually listed as a quarterback on the roster, but they still have Hookfin as the back.
Yeah.
And so you got to be watching for the fake
some
here.
kind of a fake.
Yeah.
The punter is very close to the line. He's going to step back
He's
and
gonna
pass.
try to throw
He's
it.
going to run it out. He just take the safety. So he ran it out the back of the end zone. So it looked like he was wanting to throw the ball, but he took one look. He had one receiver that he was looking for.
Yeah.
That receiver was covered.
Yeah.
And so he immediately turned, ran it out the back of the end zone for a safety. The Pioneers are now within 9. It's 38-29, and the Pioneers get the ball.
Get the ball. And that just tells you the level of confidence that Texas College has in their punt game.
Yeah.
Because there was no question at that point. We're not even trying to punt it here.
Exactly.
You know, it's better for us to run the ball out the back of the end zone than take a chance trying to kick this ball.
Right. Yeah, he was lined up. About 5, 6, 7. He was about 9 yards back from where the ball was spotted, where it was being snapped from.
Yeah.
And like I said, he made no attempt to punt the ball. He had one receiver that he was looking at. If that receiver was covered, his instructions were get out the back.
Yeah.
And that's what that long conversation was with him over there on the sideline.
But now, you know, your guy, your punter, who's punted it, remember, one time for 20 yards,
Yeah.
he is now kicking this
He's
ball.
now kicking off.
And he's kicking it from his own 20-yard line. So you have a chance here to make a play as well.
Absolutely. You could expect to get this ball. Wow, that's a good punt.
That's a really good punt.
That's a really good. To the 25-yard line. Coming here to the near side, tackled. That is Quez Hall.
And just not really well blocked by that Wayland kick return team there. And I get it, because, you know, how many times do you have to do that? Like, you know what I mean? That's so different. But just not very. It was clear they were trying to run a return to the right side, and I mean that everyone came through on the right side. So whatever the blocking scheme was, it just didn't really work out.
So on their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. 9 points down in this game. Ponder gets the snap, and DJ Ford blasts off of right tackle, and he picks up about 8 yards.
And I got to tell you, Dan, if I'm calling plays for Wayland right now, I'm paying really hard attention to Josiah Brown on the wide side of the field, because it looks like that time they were running like a 3-deep coverage, and so he was one-on-one with his man on the wide side of the field, and we've seen already that they have really shown a lot of trouble trying to cover him.
So that's Victor Jonathan out there covering Quez. This is a bubble screen out there, and taken for a first down by Quez Hall. So he threw it over there to Josiah Barron's side.
And Barron just did a great job blocking.
He
blocked his man and allowed Quez Hall to bounce around him, and that was a really nice little play.
It's on the 48 now of the Steers. 1st and 10 for the Pioneers. They're signaling the play in.
And that time, the safety backed up deeper.
No, tell me.
Oh, it's the end of the third quarter. Yeah, you were afraid they called another
I was
timeout.
afraid the Pioneers would call another timeout. It's the end of the third quarter with the Steers up 38-29.
So that time you had a cornerback lined up on Barron, but he was lined up about 7 yards off of him. And then the safety was backed up even further. The safety was lined up over the slot receiver over Quez Hall, but he was lined up about 12 yards deep.
Yeah.
And so then that little bubble screen's a great play call there, right? Because if Barron can do what he did, which is just get a piece of his man, then Quez Hall's got room to run on the outside. But that shows you the respect that they're giving Barron. They do not want for him to beat them over the top.
Yeah.
And so they were really backing way off, and that's probably a play that the Pioneers can come back on. And if they try to move up, anytime I look over and I see Barron one-on-one out there, I want to throw that dude the ball, you know.
Yeah. So Barron is here on the near side of the field, trips to the left side of the formation. Single receiver on the right side is Dayton Varela. Handoff goes to DJ Ford, and he turns that into a nice little 3-yard gain.
Well, and really, that really could have been a whole lot more yardage, but it looks like, I think that's number 23. 23 for Texas College, Jalen Smith, who came up and made a really nice open field tackle on DJ Ford, or that could have been a first down.
So 2nd and 7 for the Pioneers on the 43-yard line of the Steers now. So they've crossed midfield. Josiah Barron single covered down here. And it's a handoff. This is a jet sweep that didn't sweep.
And gosh, I'm telling you, if you fake that handoff, that safety was crashing down so hard, which meant that Barron was one-on-one on the outside. And I mean, even like a back shoulder throw or anything, you know what I mean? There was I'm sure that the Wayland coaching staff is looking at that and thinking, man, I think we can get that guy the ball.
So it brings up 3rd and 10 for the Pioneers. Ball spotted on the 46-yard line of the Steers. Snap comes back. Ponder steps up in the pocket, dumps it out now short to DJ Ford, who takes it all the way down to the 20-yard line.
And a vicious stiff arm by Ford, who's just a little guy, but he put a stiff arm on Tyler Sharp, a defensive back out of Dallas, Texas, and just threw him to the ground at the end of that play.
Yeah.
And that's a great job by Ponder, because he climbs the ladder a little bit in the pocket, and then and he was looking deep clearly, but he makes a good read. They were running 2 safeties deep, and he knew he didn't have it, and so the dump off to Ford underneath was the perfect read on that play, and it ends up being a big gain. So nice job by Ponder.
On the 21-yard line of the Steers, Pioneers 1st and 10 from that point. Dylan Jordan goes in motion to the left. Ponder back, pressure, throws it, going to throw it out of bounds. That's wise.
Well, and this one, we just talked about something really good that DJ Ford did, but we got to talk about on that play something that he did that was really bad.
He whiffed on that block.
He did, yeah. I think he jumped inside. I think he picked the wrong guy up, actually. And his job was to get that blitzer who was coming from the outside, and I don't know who he was trying to block, but he wasn't even close to the guy he was supposed to block. So
Dylan Dubois had the pressure.
And no one touched him. And Ponder just does a great job of getting that ball out of bounds.
2nd and 10. Ford off tackle. He's going to score. Beautiful run off left tackle by DJ Ford.
And, Dan, I know, look, Willie Phillips is a good running back, and we've seen it all year. But I'm telling you, DJ Ford has got a gear there. I mean, he's got an explosiveness about him, and he just hits the hole so much faster than Ford does, and so than Phillips does. And on that play, I mean, he was into the second level before they really even had a chance to react. That was a really great run.
So, and a successful PAT here by Leo Marini. It's down and good. So that makes it a 2-point game. It is 38-36 in favor of the Steers, but 12:32 left in the game.
And that safety, now looms pretty large.
Yeah.
Because, if the Pioneers get a stop and they kick a field goal, they can win the game. So there's 12 minutes left to go. So there's a lot of time. But what I'm saying is that giving those 2 points away now really could come back to haunt you in this game.
Yeah. Well, the Pioneers obviously have a strong advantage in the kicking game.
Yes.
And looks like they are going to exploit that advantage with the Steers not able to punt their way out of trouble, not able to make an extra point.
Right.
And not able to kick a field goal. It really ties one arm behind your back.
Yeah, and the special teams advantage for Wayland is really huge. If you score a touchdown here too, and you get a 2-point conversion, you're up by 6. Yeah. And so then if they score a touchdown, all that is tie the game, right? And they can't kick it, right? So they got to go for two. And so that safety really does kind of make a difference right now.
Pioneers off. Another little pooch kick over on the left side and returned nicely for about 15 yards, 20 yards on the return. Up over the 35-yard line is where the 40 is where they're going to spot. No.
35.
35 is where they're going to spot this. So a pretty good return of 15 yards on that pooch kick.
I mean, that's kind of where you want to kick it. You want to, you want that ball to land like at about between the, 15 and the 18-yard line, close to the boundary. You know what I mean?
And he was running at full speed when he fielded it, and he picked it right off the grass.
Yeah.
So that could have been disastrous. Hook fin back in the backfield, and a handoff right up the middle, and I don't identify that running back yet. It is number 5, 6, 5.
Yeah, I wish he would pull his shirt down.
I know.
It's 5.
It's 5. Chris Winters.
And that great play by Isaiah Brooks, by the way, on that play. He did a great job of stuffing that play.
So a 1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9 for the Steers. Marked on their own 36. Hook fin back to pass. A little swing pass, too tall for his outlet man. That was intended for number 84, Rowdy Bailey from Houston.
And he was open, just inaccurate with the football.
It was just too tall for him.
You know what, Dan? Every time we call Chris Winters' name, it reminds me of my new favorite country song.
Winters?
Yeah.
Do you have a song named Winters?
I do. If you're watching a live stream, you should go to Spotify or Apple Music and look up Winters by Brad Miles and listen to it.
Snap is back to Hookman. He's in jail back there. He retreats all the way back to the 20. Now he's going to throw the ball way downfield. Overthrows number 86 down there downfield, but he was scrambling for his life.
But there's a hold on this play, too. There's a flag in the backfield. But I want to point out that hook fin ball from about the 20-yard line, and it landed
to about the 20
on the 20 of the other side of the field. So
60 yards in the air.
That's a heck of a throw from a wide receiver. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, pretty good throw from a wide receiver. And in case you joined us late, hook fin started the first 3 games of the season. Yeah, they declined the holding penalty. Did the Pioneers. He started the season for the Steers as a wide receiver, and due to injuries and other problems that the Steers had, he was pressed into service as a quarterback and is a darn good one.
He's a dynamic athlete, and just with the ball in his hands, he can just really make things happen.
Punt. Oh my gosh, I don't know how that wasn't blocked.
Yeah.
It goes out of bounds on about the 19-yard line of the Pioneers, but I don't know how he got that punt off.
Just a great job of catching that punt and kicking it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a really nice play.
He wasn't very far back from the line.
No, and I think what they're trying to do is that little Australian, kick, because we've mentioned this before, but we don't think that this guy who's punting is actually a punter. He's listed as a quarterback on the roster, and we think it's just a guy that they've kind of, had to press into duty as a punter. But that's what you do with a quarterback, because he could throw the ball, right? So the defense has to kind of think about that. So you do that little rugby punt, Yeah.
So first and 10 for the Pioneers on their own 19-yard line. Handoff to Willie Phillips off of the right side, and he's going to pick up about 2 yards, 3 yards.
You see how he runs? When he runs with the ball, it just takes him. It feels like it takes him a while to get going. He doesn't really pop through the hole, and he's also a very patient runner and wants to set his blocks up, which I appreciate. But there's just not that explosiveness through the hole that sometimes you see whenever Ford is out there.
and he runs straight up.
He does, yeah, straight up and down. He's a tall guy, too.
Yeah, he is. He's 6'2", dropping back to pass. Underthrew the receiver, and he made a great adjustment.
A great play.
Josiah Barron made an outstanding adjustment to the ball.
And we've been trying to tell you guys, watching on the live stream, listening on the radio, we've been trying to tell you guys that eventually they're going to take a shot at Barron in single coverage to the wide side of the field. And guess what? That's exactly what they did. A back shoulder throw by Ponder, and Barron does a great job of using his body to get between the defender and the ball and going up and getting the ball. Great play.
Ball was actually underthrown.
Yep.
He had his man beat deep if the ball could have been thrown that far, but it was underthrown, and Josiah made just an awesome adjustment to the ball, came back and took it away from the defender. 1st and 10 on the 48-yard line now for the Pioneers. Willie Phillips off of right guard for about 4 yards.
And, you know, when he gets rolling, he's such a physical runner, too.
Right.
Like, it's tough to bring him down. When he gets rolling, he's dangerous, you know.
Yeah.
But if you can move the line of scrimmage back, or if you can mess the timing up just a little bit, he just doesn't pop through the hole in the same way, you know.
So it's on the Steer 48. So he ran from the Pioneer 48 to the Steer 48 on that first down play, 2nd and 6 for the Pioneers. He sends Quez Hall in motion across the formation to the right side. He stops at the slot and catches this ball from the slot and turns it into a first down. That was a nice catch, and then he turned it up.
There's a flag on the field. It's going to be some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct. It was thrown, and I think it's on number 71 for WAYLAND. After a really big play, he just made a really dumb move.
After the play, personal foul, 51, defense offense.
I don't think it was 51. I think it was 71.
Yeah, 51's out there.
Yeah.
But
that was just, I mean, that just is, you cannot. And we talked about this at the beginning. It's disciplined football. Winning football is disciplined football.
Yeah.
And you cannot take a first down off of the board for your offense because you can't control your emotions like that. I mean, you just can't do that.
After the result of the play, it'll be 1st and 10 for WAYLAND Baptist.
So it's going to be a first down for the Pioneers, spotted at their 46-yard line.
And I guess it's because it was a dead ball foul. It was after the play. So it's 15 yards from the end of the play.
End of the play.
So which puts them really back almost where they were, but it's first down.
Yeah, they started this drive on their own 48. So now they have a first down on their own 46. Willie Phillips.
Boy,
he powered ahead for about 2 yards.
He really did. I thought he was stopped. At the line of scrimmage, but he was able to just keep churning and moving the pile, you know.
Right.
Hey, I want to say, too, Quez Hall, like he is open on those little out routes and those little routes across the center so much. Like, he is a really dynamic player, and WAYLAND finding ways to get him the ball on some of those routes I think is really important.
He is involved in trips on the right side. Now he comes in motion to the left and will take up a spot in the slot on the left. Pass comes back, and it's thrown to Quez. So he makes a nice catch.
So what they're doing that time, they had trips to the far side of the field, and that's where Josiah Barron is, right? So when they motion Quez back to this side, all three defensive backs stayed on that side of the field. So then you have two defensive backs on this side, right? And so Quez Hall is able, but there's three receivers. Yeah. So Quez Hall is able to find a seam in that zone and make the play. They're so scared of Josiah Barron that they keep the safety over the top and they don't rotate the coverage. And that's how come that play is wide open.
Yeah. 9 seconds left on the play clock. Ponder still looking at the sideline. Takes the snap. Handoff to Willie Phillips, who picks up
just
powered
moving
ahead for another 4-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 6. And Willie Phillips is starting to demonstrate the power running.
Yeah. He's really tough to bring down. He's a big guy, and he's got is really strong in his lower body. if he could run with just a little bit lower of a pad level, he'd be even tougher to bring down.
Yeah, he would be.
But he really is a tough tackle.
DeKing Thomas comes in motion to the left, back to pass. Ponder almost gets stripped.
That's a face
ball.
mask.
That
2 face masks.
should be.
I mean, he
Not called.
He got punched in the face mask 2 different times. That on that play,
So
but wasn't called.
He was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Brings up 3rd and 6 for the Pioneers on the Steer 38-yard line. So we're close to Marini's field goal range right here.
Yeah, that's right. That is exactly right.
We're probably a little outside that. I don't know.
Well, it'd be into the wind here, but the wind is not much wind.
Yeah, there's not much wind to speak of. So 3rd and 6. Snap comes back. Ponder back to pass. Throws it complete over the middle. Beautiful route. Beautiful pass to King Thomas on the reception.
And DeKing Thomas really did. I mean, he did a great job with that kind of deep crosser there. And Ponder loves those throws, Dan, too. He loves those throws that are on the hash marks and in the middle of the field. He's usually really accurate in that part of the field. If you give him that, which they did with their coverage there, he good job.
Yeah. First and goal. 1st and 10 from the 18 for the Pioneers. Hand off to Willie Phillips. He gets around the end. No. Gets stacked up after a 1-yard gain. That could have broke. He did fight off the tackler, but it slowed him down.
Yeah, but man, the guy who tackled. So if that's DJ Ford, right, he bounces that to the outside and he might score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Because the guy who ends up making the tackle was tied up. The number 71 for Wayland is kind of frustrated. Marjon Rochelle, the left tackle, because he had his man blocked. You just have to.
2nd and 9 for the Pioneers on the 15-yard line. Back to pass. This is in the end zone.
Oh, no.
And picked off in the end zone. So the pass was underthrown. All kinds of things wrong with that pass. Intended for Josiah Barron. And the Steers intercepted in the end zone. They'll be brought out to the 20.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to throw it up and let Josiah Barron make a play, but throw it to the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
Like, don't throw it into. He was behind everybody. Barron was behind everybody. So throw it to the white line at the back of the end zone and give your guy a chance to make the play. It's just like he stepped up and just kind of flicked it. He didn't really throw it. He just kind of aim it. You know what I'm talking about, Dan?
Yeah.
You know how a pitcher sometimes, if they aim it, then they get really inaccurate. You have to just hurl the ball, and it looked like that's exactly what happened. He was just trying to throw darts there, and he needed to just wind up and throw that ball. That's a big turnover.
So it remains 38-36. The Steers have the ball, and they're going to lose 2 yards on that rushing play.
And just that, once again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but once again, like one of the reasons why it's so bad is because you were easily in field goal
range.
I mean, that's an easy field goal at that point. And so the one thing that you can't do is throw it up for grabs in the middle of the end zone.
Yeah.
When you're in that position on the field, throw it out the back of the end zone. That's better. Take a sack even. That's better because you're still in field goal range.
Steers on their own 20, on their own 18. 2nd and 12. 5, 4, 3, 2. They get the snap off, and this is Hookfin. He stumbles a little bit. He's going to be.
Good grief.
He goes out man.
Good
so
grief.
He scrambled after he stumbled a little bit. He was moving to his right. He stumbled a little bit and was able to reverse field and get all the way to the left sideline.
Well, Dan, what happened there was it was a designed quarterback run to the right. So they snap the ball. He runs to the right, and WAYLAND is on top of it. They've got two defenders that are in his grill. He goes from 60 to 0. He stops completely, breaks the tackle, rolls all the way back to his left, and almost turns the corner. So even though it was a 0-yard play, the fact that it was for 0 yards is due exclusively to the fact that Hookfin is a really remarkable athlete. Yeah. That was a great play.
So WAYLAND takes a timeout here before this 3rd and 12 play.
That leaves him one timeout.
One timeout left, 3:03 left in the game. And so the Pioneers really need a stop down here on 3rd and 12.
Because just a reminder to our folks, Texas College has a lot of trouble punting the ball. So a stop here really does mean that you have a great high likelihood of getting this ball in a good enough field goal position to get into a position to score and win the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, the way that their punter punts, even if they do choose to punt, which you got to think that they would, even with him, but you're looking at getting the ball at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, the 50-yard line is a reasonable expectation. And then with your field goal kicker, you really only need about 15 yards from there, maybe 20 yards to be really confident, but you can get into field goal range pretty easy.
Hookfin standing with his hands on his hips, and the clock running down, 16 seconds left, and he's still got his hands on his hips. Now he steps up. The snap comes back. 3rd and 12. He steps up, and he escapes. And this is going to be a first down and more. He gets almost to the 45-yard line before he slides in.
And what I wanted to say before that play, Dan, was that you cannot let Hookfin beat you with his legs on this play. You've got to make him throw the ball, because he's just so deadly. He's so fast, and he just goes up the middle of the field and makes a guy miss at the line of scrimmage and just out athletes the WAYLAND defense for the first down.
Yep. He is probably going to have more than 100 yards rushing in this game.
And 300 yards passing.
And 300 yards passing. So 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. And golly, what a defense. Who was that? Number 30?
Isaiah Brooks.
Whoa.
Just comes flying through
Laid
the line
him
of scrimmage.
out.
Yeah, just he read that and timed even the snap up well and was able to get into the backfield and make that play.
A 1-yard loss, the ball back at the 40, 2nd and 11.
Clock still ticking. There's 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock, and remember the Pioneers only have 1 timeout, so I mean there's no reason to rush here,
and they're not.
In fact, they're going to let it go down and call a timeout. They're not even trying to run a play here. Well, maybe they are at the last minute.
9
seconds.
Yeah, that's what he's doing, running the clock all the way down. 4, 3, 2, they snap it. Handoff up the middle is number 7. That's Tamog Sloan from the running back position, and it's 3rd and a long 5, probably 6.
And WAYLAND has to call a timeout, their last timeout, so they're out of timeouts. They've got to call it there because, I mean, and it might not be back because on 3rd and 5, you kind of figure that they might be wanting to throw the ball, but I would not. There's no way. What I would tell all my receivers to just run streaks down the field as far as they can go. And then I would just tell Hookfin, go get me a first down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the way this is played out. I would say you guys run down the field and get those DBs out of the picture, just so that Hookfin can go make a play.
Yeah. So a 2-point game, 1 minute and 21 seconds left. The Steers are facing a 3rd and 6 from their own 46-yard line. So a first down would be at the Pioneer 49. So you talk about needing to make a stop here. Pioneers have to make a stop here in order to have a chance.
And so let's say this play takes 5 seconds. That takes you down to like 1:16, right? And then there's a 40-second, before the punt, right? So that would take you, down to like 40-something seconds. You got 40-something seconds to get in field goal range with no timeouts.
Yep.
Those 2 timeouts that they had to burn earlier in the half are really, really hurting them right now.
Hookfin.
That's offsides.
And they jumped.
And that's first down.
First down. No, it won't be because they're at 6.
Are they at 6?
So 5 yards it'll be 3rd and 1 now instead. So the Pioneers jump offside on the defensive left side of the line.
Oh, false start. Oh, boy. That's good news.
They were drawn offside.
I thought it was.
That's good news.
And I want to say that it was number 1. Tank White jumped, and he thought it was on him too. Like he was like he had his arms down. He's like, no, So that.
No time off the clock, obviously. It was a pre-snap. Hookfin. It was a sidearm pass. That was probably a good idea because he had a man wide open over there. Wide open, Aaron McClure, but Hookfin was being pressured. He kind of threw a sidearm pass, Patrick Mahomes style sidearm, but it wasn't nearly as accurate as Patrick.
The passer was legally grounding the ball out of bounds.
I'm sorry, what was that?
What? The pass was complete?
No.
No. There's no way it hit the ground.
They were, I don't know if the question was intentional grounding or not.
He was way out of the tackle box.
He was way out of the tackle box.
It couldn't have been.
And it went past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, way past the line of
So
scrimmage.
there shouldn't have been any doubt there. Okay, at any rate,
yeah.
it's 4th
down.
and 10, and their punter is in the game. Let me remind you, he is a quarterback on our roster, and he's got.
They're not even trying to receive it. They're looking for him to run. There's nobody back deep to receive
High
the
snap, no rush at all, and so he finally just punched the ball, and this is going down and into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and the Pioneers will have it with 1 minute and 7 seconds left. No timeouts, starting on their own 20-yard line.
And man, that's tough. That's a long way to go. Because they got to get 10, 20, 30,
50 yards.
40, 50 yards to get into the back end of the field goal range. And that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
that,
it is.
You really that play that Hookfin made where he ran for the first down may be the play of the game.
Yeah.
That may be the thing because then you're going to have to take a timeout to stop the clock during the next series. You know what I mean? All those things kind of pile up. If he doesn't make that play, they don't have to take the timeout, and they have the ball way shorter with the timeout.
Ponter sends Quez Hall in motion across the formation. He lines up in the left slot. This is a pass to Quez, and it was behind him.
Yeah, but he could have made that play. That was a catch that you have to make. Now, I mean, probably it would have been like a 5-yard gain, and the clock would have kept running. And so it may be, it may, in the grand scheme of things, it might be better that ball hit the turf. But if you're Quez Hall, you got to make that catch.
So 2nd and 10 from the 20. DJ Ford's in the backfield, but he's just back there as a blocker or a safety valve. That's what they're looking for. They get him as a safety valve. He gets stopped at the line of scrimmage, turns it into about a 3-yard gain, and goes out of bounds.
That's the main thing he needed to do is get out of bounds and stop the clock. Those completions, and I get you got to take what the defense gives you, but there's less than a minute left in the game, and you're on the 20-yard line.
Like, got to go down the field.
That doesn't do much for you, And if he gets tackled in bounds, that's the game's over.
Which he almost did.
But so you really, really needed to push the ball down the field.
A 4-yard gain on that play, so it's 3rd and 6.
And look, Barron is by himself.
Single coverage.
He is by single coverage by himself. I wouldn't send anybody over to this side. If he's by himself, I would throw it up for him.
And that's what he's looking for. He's covered, and this is a drop off to DJ again, and he completes it. A first down and up at the 35-yard line, and he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. That play took about 6 seconds.
Gosh, I just would have, as soon as I got the ball, I just would have thrown it. I just would have thrown it up for Barron down on the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wasn't being pressed.
No,
at all. He's over on the right side of the formation.
Yeah, just lob it up to
now.
him. Let him run underneath it,
On the right side of the formation, and this may be double coverage. Is number 40 getting over there so he can help? Man-to-man coverage. Oh, batted
great
down.
play.
Great play by number 40. Linebacker number 40, Alan Broussard, got up on Brian Ponder and batted that ball down. 4 seconds ran on that play. 2nd and 10. Pioneers on their own 35-yard line. They need 30 more yards. Minimum. With 46 seconds.
You might be able to get something. No, it's going to have to be on the outside. They're giving you the.
Now everybody's covered. He throws it to his check down man, which happens to be Josiah
Get
Barron.
out of bounds. Get out of bounds.
He did get out of bounds. First down at midfield.
He had a spin move where he spun back to the inside, though, and I was like, you've got to get out of bounds. That's more important than the yardage,
Yep.
And I think that because these safeties are flying, once the ball is snapped, the safeties are flying to the outside. I think that you could get Jurgen in the middle of this defense on a post route or something, and you might have a big play along the hashes here if you can get him loose down one of those.
First down at midfield, 37 seconds left. Realistically, you need 15 more
That
yards.
safety on the top is going to fly out to the boundary to make sure Barron's covered.
And Potter never looked out that way. A slant over the middle is incomplete to Ethan Brown. Good coverage there by number 20, Tyler Mitchell, for the Steers. And that play took about 3 seconds. It's 2nd and 10 from midfield.
But that's what they're trying to do, Dan. They're trying to, because the safeties are lined up, kind of over those inside receivers. But when the ball's snapped, they're floating out to the boundary, and so like something crossing across the middle of the field, like what number 3 was doing there, might be open, and you might be able to get some yards down there.
Motion to the right. Snap comes back. Climbs up in the pocket. Now he throws it away.
And I don't know what route Barron was running on that one, but it looked like he ran about 5 yards and then just stopped and didn't even turn around and look. I don't know what route that was over there, but there was nobody open on that side of the field.
So it's 3rd and 10, and this is getting critical now.
Man, I would like to see Jurgen. I would like to see Jurgen do like a hard jab step to the outside and get the man covered, him to go to the outside and then cut back in right on the hash, because he would be wide open, especially if he's to Barron's side of the field, because that safety is shading outside to Josiah Barron to try to cover over the top. So you've got the hash mark there. You just have to beat your man to the inside.
Single coverage on Jordan and Barron, and rolling to his left, and has to throw this one away. So he cannot find a man open to throw to, and it's 4th and 10 from the 50-yard line. So this is the game.
Yeah.
18 seconds left. This is the game, and you don't have any timeouts. You can't stop the clock. So you got to get out of bounds in order to get your field goal team on the field.
Gosh, I'm telling you, man, if Jurgen can beat his man to the inside, if he can get him to go outside, well, maybe it looks like maybe they're lining up in a little bit because there's trips over there.
Trips on the right now. Quez Hall, Dylan Jordan, and Josiah Brown. And Jordan comes into motion to the left side. Ponder drops back. He's going to go out to his right. He gets wrapped up and then gets loose, and it's a complete pass, and he can't get out of bounds.
Yeah, that's
so the
first
ball's
down.
at the 30-yard line.
It's a first down, though, so that stops the clock, right? There's 11
until
seconds.
they spot the ball.
So get up, and get ready to
They're
snap.
going to clock it.
Yeah.
So at the 30-yard line,
Clock's
now
running.
the clock
8,
runs. They
7.
clock it. 6 seconds left. I think should be 6. They let another second run off. So here's the situation, boys and girls.
That's a great play by Ponder, Dan.
The ball is on the 30-yard line of the Steers. You've got a field goal who's already kicked one from 54. This attempt will be from 47.
And that's no cupcake.
No wind at all. Leo Marini ready to try and win this ball game. Snap comes back. Hold is good. Kick is low.
It went through, but there was a timeout. I think the Texas College called a timeout.
Yes, they did. So we're going to
Yeah,
line up
but
and
you know
do
what?
it over again.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Because the nerves were clearly working on Pelini there, Marini there. So that's why he knuckled that ball through. But give him another shot at this, and he's going to nail it.
Yeah, he's liable to pound it. That one was a kick, and it did go through the uprights, but
it would have been good.
Wow,
it would have been ugly,
good.
but
Yeah,
it would have been good.
Yeah.
But I think in this situation, the timeout actually helps.
I think so too. He's gotten that bad kick out of his system.
Mm-hmm.
He won't kick like that twice in a row.
The question is, now for Wayland, you got to block this up. Now, give him some time to kick this ball.
Yeah.
To take his time and get his foot into it.
Snap is back. Good snap. Good.
Oh my God.
Blocked. There's the ball game, boys and girls.
Yeah, he did the same thing. He kicked that ball real low. And I mean, it barely.
The Steers are. What a crushing defeat.
They didn't even
Pioneers.
have. I mean, they didn't even have penetration, Dan. That ball was kicked about helmet high, and really, that's a sad way to end the game.
Yeah, it is. So Pioneers go down to Texas College. Texas College gets their first win of the season. Rather ignominious stat for the Pioneers, as Texas College gets their first win of the season. And the Pioneers, one more game to play. It'll be next Saturday here at Bulldog Memorial Stadium against Langston, who currently is the number 4 team in the conference. And going off of this performance today, got to be a little bit worried about Langston coming in here.
Well, I would say a couple things about this game too, and like I haven't watched Texas College play before today, right? So,
right.
But clearly this was a much better team than their record indicated, and certainly a better team than the stats that we saw kind of indicated. It's clear that they've dealt with some adversity, and they've been trying to figure things out as the year's gone on. And it seems like they found some stuff that works, and so I really think this is probably a better football team than we thought they might be coming in, and I think it's also tough, as we mentioned before, for Wayland, because these guys, man, how are you supposed to scout this team?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been different people out there every single week, so you just didn't know what you were going to get. But having said all of that, right, this. Offensively, you turned the ball over 3 times. You know what I mean? And you just made critical mistakes. Got to play discipline, play clean football.
Yeah, sure do. I'm kind of waiting for a stat sheet to come up. I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to get that to us. In the meantime, I'm trying to go online. I've lost my connection. I've got to go back to my hotspot to get the connection. I was going to look and see if I could get
the online stats.
Yeah, the online stats.
Thank you guys for hanging with us in this game. Really exciting game and a really exciting finish. The Pioneers all the way down to the end of the game. Brian Ponder makes a great play to give his team the ball, give his team a shot with a 47-yard field goal, climbs the pocket, finds an open wide receiver, and gets the ball to him. It was DJ Ford. And so just a really tough way to lose this game.
So I've got Texas College's season results up here. They lost their first game 96-0. They lost their second game 72. They lost their third game 62-14.
Wow.
Their fourth game 47-6.
Yeah.
Then they 4-point loss to, not sure I know, yes, and then 23-8, 52-7, 44-32. They had a little offense in that game. 72-16.
Yeah, against Texas Wesley.
My goodness.
And really, it comes down to if you have the athletes to keep Hookfin under control. If you can't run with him, you know what I mean? If you have trouble running with him, if you don't have a player or two that can spy him, he is going to give you fits all day. And he definitely gave the Pioneers fits today. Let's tell you exactly what kind of fits he gave them. He had 336 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. He had 141 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. And so really, Dan, he's the key to this game. I mean,
497 yards of total offense.
He was just unstoppable. WAYLAND did not have the personnel to be able to keep him under control. And he just ran and passed, all of them. And the passing, let's remember too, like sometimes you'll see a team who comes out and they've got a great, like they run that West Coast offense and the timing is, and the schemes are drawn up. And you think about in the NFL teams that do this really well, like the San Francisco 49ers, they're just great play calls and everything's on time. And that is not what we saw offensively today. No. What we saw offensively today was Hookfin getting the ball and running around back there and then chunking the ball to somebody downfield who's open because he was running around for 12 seconds. Like that's how he beat you. And he just out-athleted you. And so for WAYLAND, that's got to be really tough. I mean, I don't know what the answer is for a guy like that, you know. And so I can only assume that in some of those other games, if he was playing quarterback in some of those other games, right? Yeah. Then they had some guys that could run with him, and that kept him from running around and making plays with his feet and doing all the things that he was able to do today. So because he was really a one-man wrecking crew. 325 yards passing today for Ponder. He was 23 of 39. One huge interception in the end zone, though. Mm-hmm. That really he's going to lose some sleep over tonight. So that's just tough. 6 rushes for 41 yards for DJ Ford. Phillips had 47 yards rushing on 17 carries.
Yeah.
And then
2.7 per run.
Yeah, and then a huge day. We said it all day, but Josiah Barron just had a massive day today. Had 156 yards, 155 yards, 7 receptions, a touchdown. He had a long of 48 yards. And so there were plays, but WAYLAND was able to make some big plays. They just weren't able to stop the big play, defensively from Hookfin. And in Hookfin's credit, he completed passes to 10 different receivers. And so that tells you something about his ability at the quarterback position. He was able to find open guys and make plays. And so that to me, that's the story of the game. The story of the game is Hookfin. You couldn't find a way. You couldn't find an answer for what he provided athletically. Your defense was just not able to have an answer for that. Yeah. And he just kind of was a one-man wrecking crew today.
Yeah. You just it's just curious that they get beat so badly with an athlete like that at quarterback.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like what's going on in some of these other games. Like last week, getting outscored the way they were, it makes you wonder, what happened in that game. And the only thing I can think of is that, maybe a team like that's got a guy or two, who can just spy him up, and keep him from getting 100 and something yards rushing, 140 yards rushing or whatever.
Yeah.
So
let's look at time of possession time. They had the ball 35 minutes to 24. About 25 minutes for the Pioneers. So not a huge discrepancy there.
And WAYLAND did a really good job in the second half because they only had 65 total plays in the game. And remember, they had 42 in the first half. So they're trying to run that up tempo, trying to possess the ball, trying to get a bunch of plays in. Wayland did a good job in the second half, at least, of limiting the times that they had the ball. There were some extended drives. Wayland had some extended drives, did a little bit better with, Wayland only had, they had 40 total plays, right? No, they had 60
passes.
They had
69.
69 total plays. And remember, in the first half, they only had 20 plays.
Yeah.
So they ran 49 plays in the second half.
Yeah, the Steers had 65 plays.
Yeah.
For the game. So the Pioneers had more offensive plays.
Yeah.
It just shows you how tight the game was.
Yeah.
It's a 2-point game.
Yeah, yeah. And but in the second half, Wayland did a good job of possessing the ball.
Yep.
All the things that we talked about they needed to do in the second half: possess the ball, keep Hook Finn on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're running some plays. You're not letting them just run play after play after play after play. They did some of that, but they had really costly turnovers. Had 2 turnovers in the second half. They and then just some execution problems. There was a bad penalty. Those kinds of things that's how you lose football games. So a really tough second half.
Coach Hinojosa down talking to the recruits that he's got here.
Yeah.
On the sideline. So that's going to bring it to an end for Brad and I. We will see Brad and me.
Yeah. Thank you for your grammatic.
Working.
Your grammatic is pretty well. Keep it up.
We're going to be back here next Saturday. Our pregame show will start about 1:35 if it goes the way it has normally gone. So about 25 minutes before kickoff, we will do the pregame show to set that game up for you. In the meantime, I'm Dan Ziegler, Brad Miles doing the color for us, and we will see you next Saturday afternoon.